The Denver Nuggets, we will see what happens in game 5. Unfortunately, they dropped game 4. Thought that there would be a sweep going on. That didn't ultimately come to pass, but I'm with my guy Swiper here. We're going to say, hey, lasting impacts of game 4. Anything that happened in that one that you think will translate to a game 5 here?
Um, yeah, the Lakers still going to play hard, but I think Jokic and Porter will carry their performances over.
Mm.
I don't think Maul. Maybe if I'm trying to think, like, I think he'll be able to have a better shooting performance. That's what I've been a little iffy on, just given the situation. But if I had to estimate, is he going to be able at home to get a performance together where mentally he can get rid of some of the chi blockage that he has up here to get in his Bruce Lee mode? I do think it can happen. I think Aaron Gordon will have a better game as well. I think he'll get more opportunities to finish around the rim, and the
Yeah.
Nuggets will shoot better in this game as well. So I do expect the carryover to be that the Nuggets post-game conferences in which they were very much aware of the fact that they let this game go. I do think that the attitude that we need to come home and deliver a victory in Denver, I think that's going to carry over.
Yeah, you gotta hope so. Like with Jamal specifically, he shot under 40% in each of the first 4 games. It's been like very hit or miss, mostly miss with him, just in terms of the decision making with the playmaking has mostly been good, but the problem is that he's just not been able to find his own shot, not really been able to find his own stroke. I think that'll come back a little bit more in game 5. I think he'll toughen in, like he'll figure it out a little bit. I would expect him to maybe not shoot as frequently, but I think his shot selection will be better in game 5 with the hope that can share around the load a little bit. The playmaking will be good. And I think the rest of the Nuggets are going to pick him up in this moment because here's the thing, like Denver's floor spacing in especially off the bench has not been good. I would expect that to kind of change a little bit in game 5 where Denver needs a little bit more from guys like Peyton Watson and Christian Brown and Justin Holiday and players of that nature. Like, get Jamal some help. Get him some floor spacing.
Yeah. Yeah, they look like a 2000 Detroit Pistons team right now with the lack of shooting they have around their interior. So, look, I mean, literally, like they're shooting the worst in the NBA from the 3-point line in the playoffs outside of the Cleveland Cavaliers. So they're going to have a regression that's going to hit like it's going to hit like a certain substance in the 1980s. I'll say that. And so I do think that they're going to have a big uptick. I don't know if it starts in game 5, but you better believe in the course of this playoff, they're going to have one or two series where it's like, so they're just shooting 45% from 3, apparently. That's just the way the NBA works. You miss, and then all of a sudden you make, and then all of a sudden you miss again. That's just the way shooting variance works in the NBA.
Speaking of making, then missing, then making, D'Angelo Russell on the other side of things. Game 2, he was really good for the Lakers. Game 4, he came to play, did some good things. Game 1, Game 3, not necessarily very good. Actually, that's a pretty kind statement.
Mm-hmm.
I think game 5, he's probably getting back to some uncomfortable places. Denver's got to lock in on him. I think KCP can especially help with that. But when Denver changes up their coverages on the defensive end and they put KCP on LeBron instead, I hope that somebody like Jamal, maybe even Mike, could try to make a little bit of a better impact on D'Angelo Russell, because if they allow him to get going when Denver changes up their defensive scheme, that is a problem. Like Denver can't let that happen.
Yeah, and then too, like the Lakers just have a unique offensive personnel, which is what allows for them to be able to play as well as they do. And I just think people are just underestimating. Yeah, they're the 7th seed and all that stuff, but like the Lakers are a good team, and they have heavy top end talent. And AD and LeBron direct everything on the court for them, especially LeBron. So yeah, D'Lo and Reeves, they're role players. They shoot well. The Lakers are in the game. They don't shoot well. The Lakers are not in the game. It's really going to be that simple. But like I said, all this comes down to the Nuggets. If the Nuggets play their brand of basketball and they take this game serious, they will win the game by 10 plus points.
Last 2 games, the Nuggets have allowed 70 plus points in the paint. In each of those, their defense, especially at the rim, has not been very good. Nikola Jokic, I think, trying to avoid foul trouble in a lot of those cases and maybe not be as resistant in the middle of the lane. But that's probably got to change too. He's probably got to be a little bit more stout in there and be a little bit more engaged as a defender on the interior, because guys like Anthony Davis and LeBron James, very, very good at attacking the rim, very good at taking advantage of every weakness that you give them. If Denver doesn't give them an opening, they'll have to settle for these awkward jumpers and fadeaways and things of that nature. And I think that will help Denver, of course, in the long run if they can wall off the paint just a little bit more.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I expect Christian Brown and Peyton Watson to hit a couple shots this game too, because again, they're going to be at home, get some momentum going. You can get your legs underneath you. They win this game, they have 2 straight more games at home, so they can go on a little bit of a homestand here in the playoffs. So again, take care of your business. I think AG at the 5. They're going to switch everything with that defensive unit. Top of the second quarter, top of the fourth quarter, y'all. They get some stops, and Jamal Murray hits 2 or 3 shots on both of those stints. And then again, then the game's not going to be close, but they just got to take care of their business. They're the better team. They got the best player, and they got the better coach. So you just got to get it done.
Murray's been a little bit hampered from a physical perspective. Reggie Jackson obviously rolled his ankle in game 3. He did play through it in game 4, but only played 9 minutes. Jamal Murray, I think, played the other 39 minutes of point guard. Who could potentially take off some pressure from them from a ball handling perspective in your mind?
KCP, Michael Porter Jr., Justin Holiday in spurts. That's literally about it. Christian Brown, ostensibly, but that's about it. I don't want anybody else holding the ball. Unfortunately, the Nuggets don't have another backup point guard. They just didn't develop one. They did not want one. They didn't try to get one. So they're just going to be in a little bit of a rut. If it's not going to be Reggie, it has to be one of Justin, one of KCP, and then one of Christian Brown as well.
I wonder if Jokic handles the ball a little bit more. Maybe he runs some pick and rolls himself. Maybe somebody like KCP sets some screens for him and then dives to the rim or pops out to the 3-point line. That wouldn't surprise me at all if Denver tries to change things up, maybe take the ball out of Murray's hands a little bit more, give him a little bit more of a break, and save him for what I think are going to be a very important third and fourth quarter, where Denver's just got to deliver. They got to find ways. They got to run the Jokic Murray 2-man game. And it didn't run to perfection in this last one. I think that they're going to have some opportunities to switch that up, but we'll see.
I'll say it like this too, Ryan. I would not be surprised if Nikola Jokic has a 40-20-10 game in the bag for game 5. I think this is going to be one of the best closeout performances we've seen from Joker, because he doesn't want to play beyond this day. He laughed about it in the press conference, not disrespectfully, but look, it's horse racing. It's not how you start, it's how you finish, and they got to finish better.
They got to finish better. There's no doubt about that. X factor for this game for either side.
Jamal Murray and probably D'Angelo Russell.
It's wild. I think you're right. Those guys have been the most volatile throughout the series. And if you get great performances from one or both of those guys, they'll sort of change the complexion of how this game goes. Denver needs some spacing. They need some shooting. Their shooting has not been good enough. And I think I said this on the podcast yesterday. If Denver gets better shooting from Jamal Murray, I think there will be a spiral effect, an avalanche, if you will, of Denver Nuggets shooting from the 3-point line, because they just need to see him have some success, and that'll give the rest of the team a lot of confidence.
Agree. Yeah. Let's get it done. Let's see him do it.
We'll see what happens. But hey, let us know your thoughts on game 5. Do you think the Nuggets get it done? Do they get it done in 5, or do they have to go back to the LA in 6? We'll see what happens. But he's Swipa. I'm Ryan. We're out.